everyone. Betty's Naptime Stories, fun for girls and boys. Betty's Naptime Stories, sit back and enjoy.
In the heart of a lush moonlit meadow lived a tiny firefly named Flicker. Unlike his friends who loved to dance in big, dazzling swarms, Flicker was a solo explorer. He loved the quiet thrill of discovering the world on his own terms, his little light a brave beacon in the vast darkness. One warm summer evening, his adventurous spirit led him away from the familiar fields and towards the edge of a quiet neighborhood. He floated past tall oak trees and manicured lawns, his glow casting tiny, dancing shadows on the sleeping flowers below. It was here, in a cozy-looking backyard, that he saw it. A giant, slumbering creature, its fur a patchwork of deep black and brilliant white. It was curled up on a soft patch of grass, its chest rising and falling in a slow, steady rhythm. Flicker had never seen anything so big up close. He felt a jolt of fear, but his curiosity was stronger. He dimmed his light and drifted closer, his tiny wings barely making a sound. He circled the creature, observing the gentle twitch of its ears and the soft puff of its breath, too. This was Daisy, a pit bull with a heart as big as her playful grin. Daisy was known throughout the neighborhood for her sweet nature. She loved chasing butterflies by day and dreaming of chasing squirrels by night. As she slept, she dreamed she was chasing the biggest, fluffiest squirrel she had ever seen. Suddenly, a tiny, ticklish light danced on her nose. Her eyes fluttered open. Staring back at her was a minuscule, blinking star. She'd never seen a bug so sparkly. Flicker froze, his light blinking rapidly in alarm. He was just a tiny speck in front of this colossal beast. He expected a loud bark or a sudden snap. But Daisy just tilted her head, her big brown eyes filled with gentle wonder. She let out a soft woof, more a puff of air than a sound. Flicker, sensing no danger, bravely glowed a little brighter. Daisy watched, captivated. She slowly lowered her head to the grass, making herself as small as possible. It was an invitation. Hesitantly, Flicker landed on the tip of her black nose. It was warm and surprisingly soft. Daisy held perfectly still, barely breathing, mesmerized by the little light that had chosen her as a perch. From that moment on, an extraordinary friendship began to bloom. Every night, as the moon climbed into the sky, Flicker would leave his meadow and fly to Daisy's backyard. He became her personal, living nightlight. Their evenings were filled with simple, shared joys. Flicker would lead Daisy on silent patrols around the yard. He'd hover over interesting smells of fallen apple, a trail of ants, a forgotten chew, toy and glow brightly, signaling a new discovery. Daisy would follow him with a happy, rumbling growl, her tail wagging so hard her whole body wiggled. She was his protector, and he was her guide. Sometimes, they would just lie together on the cool grass. Flicker would practice his light patterns, creating swirls and zigzags in the air. A private light show just for Daisy. He'd spell out her name in glowing dots, and she would watch with rapt attention, her head resting on her paws. She couldn't read the letters, but she understood the feeling behind them. She knew this tiny, glowing friend cared for her, just as she cared for him. One night, a fierce thunderstorm rolled in. Rain lashed down, and the wind howled through the trees. Flicker was caught in the storm, his tiny wings soaked and his light sputtering. He was tossed and turned by the wind, unable to fly. He fell to the ground, his light fading to a weak, desperate pulse. He was scared and alone. Just as he felt his light might go out for good, a warm, wet nose gently nudged him. It was Daisy. She had heard the storm and sensed her friend was in trouble. Braving the wind and rain, she had searched the entire yard, her sensitive nose leading her to the weak, flickering light. Carefully, she scooped Flicker up with her tongue and carried him to the shelter of her doghouse. She curled up around him, her big body shielding him from the cold, her warmth slowly drying his wings. Flicker snuggled into her fur, his light gradually returning to its steady, comforting glow. He had never felt so safe. As the storm passed and the first rays of dawn painted the sky, Flicker knew he had found more than just a friend in Daisy. He had found family. And Daisy, looking down at the tiny light resting peacefully in her fur, knew her world was infinitely brighter with him in it. Their bond was a quiet, beautiful testament to the fact that friendship isn't about size or shape or how you communicate. It's about being a light for each other in the darkness and a safe harbor in the storm. From then on, their story became a quiet legend in the meadow and the neighborhood. The other fireflies would see Flicker flying off each night and knew he was going to see his best friend. The humans would sometimes catch a glimpse of their pit bull staring intently at a single, dancey light in the yard and smile, completely unaware of the deep connection they were witnessing. Flicker and Daisy spent many seasons together, their friendship a constant, comforting presence in each other's lives. 2. The tiny firefly and a big pit bull, two souls from completely different worlds, had found in each other a perfect harmony. Their story reminds us all that true friendship can be found in the most unexpected of places, and that the greatest bonds are often the ones that shine brightest against the dark. Thank you so much for watching. 2. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more heartwarming tailies. We'll see you in the next video.
In a meadow glowing softly on a warm and starry night, lived a tiny firefly named Flicker, shining bright. He danced above the flowers with a twinkle in his glow, when he heard a gentle puppy voice calling from below. Flicker and Daisy, best friends forever, glowing and wagging as they play together. Big or small, night or day, friends can come in any way. Flicker and Daisy, hip hooray! Down in the clover sat Daisy, sweet and kind, a playful little pit bull with a curious mind. She watched the little firefly lighting up the sky and wagged her tail happily as Flicker fluttered by. Flicker and Daisy, best friends ever, glowing and wagging as they play together. Big or small, night or day, friends can come in any way. Flicker and Daisy, hip hooray! They raised the moonbeams, they chased the breeze, they laughed with the fireflies and danced with the trees. No matter how different, their hearts knew it's true. A friend is a friend because they care about you. Flicker and Daisy, best friends forever, glowing and wagging as they play together.